Well, my biggest frustrations were that I exercised every day. I have a very physical job, so it isn't like I was sedentary. But everybody would tell me, well, you know, exercise is only part of it. You got to watch what you eat too. Well, I didn't know how to do that. I mean, I knew how to do it. I just didn't know what to replace my way of living with that would also work with the way I live. And so it was incredibly frustrating because the results I would get would be very inconsistent. I had been at my peak right around 2012 of 270 pounds. And I had started a very strict, high protein diet that just was so boring. It's been incredibly frustrating because, you know, you go up 5 pounds, you go down 5 pounds. And then if something bad happened, something, you know, traumatic, like my mother got really sick or there was a lot of stress and anxiety at work, I would go down as low as 221, 223. But boy, as soon as things got better, I'd shoot right back up to that 230 range. Well, then we got this COVID work at home thing. And as soon as I was at home, I gained 10 pounds, like right off the bat, the first month, I gained 10 pounds. And it had to be because of how I was eating, you know, because the exercise went up. I wasn't going to work every day. So I was, you know, working out every day, but I'm 56. I have arthritis in both knees. God knows how many times I've turned my ankle. I've got bad shoulders, a lower back issue. You know, I mean, I'm 56. These things happen. It was just incredibly frustrating and depressing as far as progress went. I just figured I had to do something because you reach a point where you can't just keep trying because, and I know it sounds silly, there's do or do not, there is no try anymore. And that's how I quit smoking. I reached a point where if I didn't succeed this time, I might as well just quit because I've already been doing this try my entire adult life, and try is not working for me anymore. So it wasn't working for me once I passed a certain age. Before, yeah, I could just go on a real restrictive diet, lose 10 pounds, everything was great. And, but I hit the scale this morning at 206, and I haven't weighed 206 since before my daughter was born, and she's 26 years old. I feel much better physically. But yeah, that was what the struggle was. The struggle was the incredible frustration of little bits of success, but no continuing success. Well, I decided that I needed to figure out what my roadblocks were. You know, what was stopping me from being able to do this? Well, clearly I didn't know what diet I should be eating, what foods I should be eating, and not be miserable all the time or starving, hungry, or whatever. And then I thought, well, okay, so I got a problem with nutrition. I have a problem with being around people all day at work who are, oh, we don't have time to eat lunch. Can we stop by here or stop by there? Well, I didn't have that problem anymore because we basically shut down. But even though we're kind of opening up slowly again, that problem isn't like it was. And so and then what was my third problem? My third problem was exercise, no matter how much I was dedicated to it, was hurting me. Because I am just not, you know, I was 237 pounds when I called you guys, and my knees hurt, and my back hurt, my shoulder, everything hurt all the time. So I had to identify what my problems were. And then I started thinking, well, my problems are, I got 3 problems and I need to find somebody to help me fix them. So I started talking to people I worked with about what they do. And some of them, you know, they work out at Gold's Gym, or one of them does Krav Maga. And I'm like, I'm 56. I'm not doing Israeli ground battle tactics. So I thought, well, what I need is, and honest to God, I Googled it. Who will help me get in shape over the age of 40? And I needed it to be in St. Louis area. Your link came up to yours, but there were a couple of others. But I looked at your videos and I looked at the testimonials from the people who work there and work out there. And I thought, well, clearly this could be something that would work for me. So that's when I called you guys and asked questions about what you could do to help me. Well, it's the daily accountability, I think. One of the things that's consistent with everybody I know who's ever undertaken a serious try to change their fitness is that they're accountable to somebody, a partner, a coach, a doctor, somebody. The daily accountability has been awesome. I have to weigh myself every morning, and if I don't, then I haven't done my part. And then I get a little message. Don't forget to do your, you know, just a reminder, you need to do this. And then I do it. And then that gives me a plan. And I'm big on plans. If you have a problem, a plan helps you with your stress. You know, as long as I have this accountability and this daily goal I'm supposed to meet every day, that has helped me a lot more. It's more regimented because I have somebody to account to. Well, it sure as heck didn't help with the chronic depression and the insomnia, because you start thinking less of yourself. And I don't, you know, for me, it isn't about how I look per se. You know, I mean, kind of, but not really. It's more about this. My mother died last summer. She was 80. She had stage 4 lung cancer. We didn't find out she had it until she was very sick because she was always such a healthy person that when she started feeling bad, or gradually she just chalked up to being 80. But 20 years before that, almost 20 years before that, my mom had been a huge woman. She was just always, my whole life, a very large woman. And she had had a heart attack. Not a big one, but a little one. And the doctor said, where your blockages are, we can't do anything about that, because if we try, you're going to have a massive heart attack. And they said, so you have to do something about this, or you're going to be dead in a few years. You are, way unhealthy. You drink too much. You eat the wrong foods. You have to fix it. Well, it scared her. So she went on this, very restrictive diet, started walking every day, lost 125 pounds, and kept it off for the rest of her life. So when my mom got sick 20 years later, and they said, what health conditions do you have? She's like, well, I had a mild heart attack almost 20 years ago. Well, that was it. She had no other health issues because of the exercise and stuff. And so I got to thinking about that after she died, and I thought, you know what? You have to be fit to fight. If you are a soldier or a cop or anybody like that, you can't run to the fight and then be winded and out of breath when you get there, or you're not fit to fight. And that should apply to everything in my life, is what I was thinking. So after she died, I thought, you know what, why am I waiting until some doctor points at me and says, look, if you want to be fit to fight 20 years from now, you have to fix it now. I was very depressed about the fact that I wasn't getting fit to fight no matter how much I was trying, and it was very frustrating. Plus, functionally, I could not bend over to tie my shoes without getting winded. I looked like a barrel on sticks in my uniform at work. I just felt clumsy and awkward and bulky, and everything was less comfortable physically, and I needed that to go away. There's been some real funny things, like my shoes are looser. I had to buy new uniforms at work, and now they're too big again, and I don't get new uniform money till November, so that's going to be interesting. You can't try clothes on at the store because of the pandemic. The way the seat belt fits me in the car is different, just weird things like that. I can sit in my desk chair at work without my tool belt hitting the handles. I had to shorten my tool belt I put it on and it almost fell off. I had to shorten it almost 7 inches to wear it. So that's another thing. I used to have a lot of problems with bloat, abdominal bloat, and that was gone right away. Within the first 2 weeks, I noticed that was completely gone. Just the first 2 weeks of eating less processed food, less fried, no fried foods. I eat nothing fried. I really didn't much before, but boy, once you completely cut stuff like that out, certainly processed foods. I quit drinking. Sometimes I have a glass of wine once in a while, but not like I was. I drank wine every night before bed. I don't do that anymore because my sister goes, your body is lazy. It will burn the alcohol before it burns the fat. I'm going, okay, you got me. I'll quit. And that helped a lot. So I don't have any of that bloat or water retention or anything like that I used to have. I have a pretty addictive personality. Not anything serious, but food, sure. I smoked for 20 years and I'm a 2-pack a day or 0 cigarettes kind of person. So once I internalized that in my head, I realized it had to be 0 because it sure couldn't keep being 2, Same thing with drinking wine. Drank it every single day, and then I just decided, well, I can't do this anymore. And I realized that doesn't work for most people. Most people, that struggle's a lot harder. But the reason people can do it is because it really is about getting your head in the right place. If your head is not in the right place, confidence-wise, and the confidence, I get a lot of that from you guys, at least 90% of the confidence I get from you guys. And here's something that's important. I bought a scale, and everybody should do this because the scale the pounds do not tell the whole story. You buy a scale that measures your body fat percent and your BMI, and no matter what the pounds are, watch those 2 numbers. Because even if your pounds go up 0.5 pound, and you look at your lean mass and it's up, and your body fat is down, then that's success. So you have to find those successes. You can't just say, oh my gosh, I'm 0.5 pound up today, I'm a failure. Because you're not. If you look at your BMI, if you look at your body fat percent, those things tell the real story. The inches tell the real story. And so those tools that you guys, gave me with accountability, where I can see those numbers and graph how they change, that's really been helpful. And that's why anybody can do it. I was strong, but I was I tired easy. I was bulky. I didn't fit in places I needed to fit. I just felt like I was never getting better, just getting worse. No matter how much I tried, I wasn't getting better. So if I'm in that condition, anybody else should be able to, even just small successes will help feed you.
Because this is your progress. Yeah. So this is 3 months of progress.
Right.
But if we were to look at snapshots, and you can see that trend is down the whole time.
Yeah, the trend is down, but there's little places where.
Right. So if we look at this is in August, right?
Right.
So there's ups and downs there.
Yes.
Right. And then in July, there's ups and downs.
Yes.
A lot of times people give up when they see the uptrend and they don't give it time enough to go back down, right? It's the long-term progress that is what matters. So there's going to be bumps in the road. There's going to be times where your body doesn't do what you want it to do, but overall, if you stick with it, it'll happen, right?
Well, I look pretty good at 180 or less. I don't want to get, I don't want to lose my mind here and not have my muscle mass be high enough to support my joint structure. I don't want my, as far as I can tell, my arthritis is bothering me way less. I'd like that to continue. So ultimately, my goals are to be able to, when we have to do training at work, to be able to keep up with everybody else. I am right now the second oldest person that wears a uniform where I'm at. The person who's older than me just ran a half marathon. It'd be great if I could point to him and go, yeah, see, old people, but that's not going to happen. I'd like to see myself be able to keep up better. I'd like to see myself be able to do things like my daughter and I are going to go rock climbing. She goes to Upper Limits. We're going to go rock climbing as soon as that opens up more, because she says, oh, you'll love it. And I'm going, yeah, I could probably do it now too, But yeah, I just want to be able to have more fun in my life. I really do.